So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
Chris Brown album review. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we are finally here. After all week of talking about Chris Brown, doing a bunch of track reviews, I gave some of my thoughts about this album, but now we are finally here. It is time for the big old album review. And, recently, before I even get into, the album, we start talking about it or whatever, I saw Pitchfork. And, we can't be giving Pitchfork as much credit because, I swear, there's like a rating where like they put a Michael Jackson album and they put Ice Spice over it. So I'm just saying, hey, look, we can't be taking Pitchfork's opinion that seriously. I mean, these are the same guys who said Whole Lotta Red was like the best album of the year. So, Jesus Christ. But anyways, they said this album is so shit that this album is like a 1 point out of 10. And, as I've listened to this album, as I checked out this album, I definitely disagree with that opinion, and we can all have our own opinions, but I just feel like the article that was written for that album review, it kind of reminds me of like when I talked about BTS, but I feel like with BTS that was kind of deserved because, the music was not good. I'm just going to be honest with you. And, when I check out this album, as a person who's been listening to Chris Brown for 5+ years, who has checked out Indigo, who has checked out Breezy, who has checked out all the deluxes, the 40-track album, I've even, a long time ago, checked out the other albums too, who's been listening to Chris Brown for a long-ass time. I'm just going to be real with y'all. This might be one of my new favorite albums for Chris Brown. And, not every track is hitting. There is a lot of guitar tracks on here, which I just don't really care for. And even Chris Brown, on his story said that some of his favorite tracks were those tracks. And I just can't understand the mindset. I mean, I guess he's gotten tired of making R&B music, but I just don't understand the mindset of that. His favorite tracks are, in my opinion, some of the weakest tracks off the album. But, that's my opinion. So, this is a 27-track album review. It is going to be a review, but it is an album. And, it's a 27-track album. This is an hour and 30 minutes long. There is some long tracks on here. Like, there's some 6-minute tracks. There's some a lot of 5-minute tracks on here. And, I will say, some of the tracks I feel like does not need to be 4 or 5 minutes long. Like the song with Glorilla and Lotto. Or no, it wasn't Lotto, it was Sexy Red. Those two, that track right there was like almost 5 minutes long. And the only reason it was almost 5 minutes long is because the beat was just playing on loop for the whole entire fucking song. So, I don't really get that. But anyways, before we get into the album review, I do want to go over my criteria, how we do album reviews on this show. If you're new here, if you haven't seen an album review on this podcast, I will tell you the format that we do. First, we're going to go over 3 overall points of how I feel about the overall entire project. And then we're going to go over every single track off the album, and I will rate every single track off the album 1 out of 5. And I will give you my overall thoughts at the end, and then my final out of 1 out of 10 score. So, without further ado, let's get into this album review. I've had a really good ass time checking out this album. Starting off,
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
for my first point, we'll talk about the instrumentals. Alright, the instrumental, the production of this album is probably some of the best that I've heard from Chris Brown. You know, I've seen on Twitter, like everybody talks about the Fallen track, sounding like jukebox music. And, I do agree with that, to a certain extent, when it just sounds like, the most basic ass, like slow, like Tennessee whiskey type fucking song ever. I do understand that. So I will give him that. But I will say for the most of the album, the production is just absolutely fantastic. I do love the fact that, the 808s, elements like the synths, elements like the background vocals, elements like the effects in the background of the instrumentals and the drums actually have some variation, actually have some switch ups going for it. Everybody says this is like everybody keeps saying this is like an Indigo in 2026, and I just can't get by that because Indigo was probably one of the most generic ass Chris Brown album I've ever heard in my fucking life. And I will be real, the only reason that I really like that album is because it's grown on me over the years because I've checked out almost every single song. But if I break you down the production of that album, there's fucking absolutely nothing to talk about. At least with this album, you actually have some real live instrumentation. You actually have some switch ups. You actually have the drums sounding, fucking good on this album, which is pretty fucking awesome in my opinion. So I really do overall enjoy the production of this album. I think it's one of them ones and some of the best that I've heard. Even from the starting track, you have Metro in the beginning, the Leave Me Alone track. I thought I wasn't going to like that track, but that track's one of those tracks that has easily gotten stuck in my head as I've listened to this album throughout the entire week. My second point, let's talk about the features. Now, there is some features on this album which I feel like does not need to be here, alright? Vybz Kartel. One of the worst features I've ever heard in my goddamn life. That feature is so fucking ass. I'd rather drown myself. I'd rather cut myself. I'd rather jump off a mountain than fucking listen to that feature like in my whole entire fucking existence. That shit is ass. And I will be honest with you. I didn't really need Sexy Red or Glorilla on the Call Me Your Name track. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Like, they didn't really add that much value to the song, to just be real with you. I mean, Chris Brown didn't add any effort to the fucking song. Well, these motherfuckers did not add that much effort either, in my opinion. So, some of the features on here I really could care less about. But, there was some good features on here, like Lucky Day, Tank. Tank sounded really fucking good, on the, the Body Goals song. Yeah, the hashtag Body Goals. So, there was some good features on here, but I do feel like, sometimes I'm just like, can we just stop? Chris Brown, can we stop just putting a bunch of fucking features on the album? Like, some of these features just make no sense to me, in my opinion. So, features were okay, decent. It's one of the low points of this album. I will be honest with y'all. Now, my final point. How was the Chris Brown performance? As you know, if you've actually listened to Chris Brown's music, I feel like some of these motherfuckers have not listened to Chris Brown's music. You could get one or two things, or like three things. First thing you can get is shitty ass robotic vocals. Sometimes Chris Brown sings like a fucking robot. Like, he turns the auto-tune dial fucking 1,000, like on some of his damn songs. A lot of like Indigo and a lot of Breezy tracks too off that album just had the auto-tune fucking either like turn like so fucking high up or like he'd turn it way fucking down. And it just sounds so fucking robotic. So that's one thing you could get from Chris Brown. He relies too much on the auto-tune. And then Second thing you can get is, actually good ass singing, actually some good ass hooks, really nice switch ups on the verses, and that's what I feel like. Well, I will happy to say this. Besides, the final low point of the album, there's like this like 10, no, there's like this like 13 through like 15 or like to 20 tracks that get a little boring.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
Truth is our
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
To listen to because it's the same guitar instrumentals that I just do not fucking care for. But even with those tracks, I will say this is probably the best that I've heard from Chris Brown in quite a while. The singing is really good. The flow switches are just absolutely phenomenal. The vocal switch ups on this album absolutely do hit. So Brown is definitely one of them fucking ones. Alright, let's not waste any time. Let's go over every single track off the album. We have 27 tracks to get through. This album is an hour and 30 minutes long. Let's start off with the beginning track, the intro track, Leave Me Alone. This track is 6 minutes fucking long. I mean, that is just insane to me in my opinion. But Leave Me Alone, I will say, is a good track. I feel like it does take too long to get started. I feel like we could shorten some of that instrumental, just because the beginning instrumental, it does sound good, but then it switches to a whole entire different instrumental. So I feel like we could have just, had that second instrumental half be the beginning. I don't understand this whole fucking piano key buildup, but it does sound good. So Leave Me Alone, I will give this track an easy 3 out of 5. Obvious is the next track, and I do like Obvious. This track has a really good addicting hook. I think I did a review for this, so, if you want to go check that out. But the instrumental is really good. I'd say the use of the sample is pretty nice, too, so this one's an easy 4 out of 5. Honey Pack. Now, this is more of that guitar-type instrumental tracks, but I like the R&B, kind of trap acoustic production here. It sounds pretty good. The hook is really addicting too, so I'd easily give this one a 4 out of 5. Then this track, It Depends, featuring Bryson Tiller. This track right here, I did a review for it a long time ago, and I also, I remember I kind of just had this song playing for the entire year of 2025. I just kept replaying this song on my personal playlist. So this one's an easy 5 out of 5. Fallen. As I've really listened to this album, Fallen is one of those that I've just ended up skipping. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Fallen was good to listen to for one time, but that one time is just fucking it. 2 out of 5. I really do not care for that track at all. But then after Fallen is Hate Me, and Hate Me, I love this damn song. This song easily gets stuck in my head. I love the singing on here, the flow switch-ups. 5 out of 5. Call Your Name, this is the featuring Glorilla and Sexyy Red. Again, this is probably one of my least favorite tracks off this album. This shit is kind of ass. The Pitchfork article should just talk about this song, because this song is kind of ass. This one's a 1 out of 5. Now, for the moment, this is one of my favorite tracks off the album. I will easily give this track a 4 out of 5. I love the hook. I love the instrumental. I love the sounds. We did a review for this yesterday, so go check that out. The next one is Fucking Party. Now, I do like Chris Brown's parts. I like his hook. I like his verse. I like how he's sounding. The thing is, though, Vybz Kartel fucking sounds like a robotic fucking monkey. And, you know, I'm just gonna be real with you. He sounds like a scary fucking robotic monkey. This shit completely ruins the vibe. Does not sound good. He's not flowing on the beat. Vybz Kartel feature sounds absolutely ass. I do like this song, but Vybz Kartel sadly does ruin it, so I'm sorry. 2 out of 5. Red Rum featuring Young Boy Never Broke Again. I love this track. I like Young Boy's verses. Verse is really addicting. Then I really love this hook. This hook just gets stuck in my head like every single fucking day. Easy 5 out of 5. This one right here, It's Not You, It's Me. I like this song because the instrumental is just like kind of reminds me of like older R&B songs. Love the production. Love the fucking keys on here. Love the beat too. The hook is really good also. I love this song. Easy 5 out of 5. Cry For Me is also going to be another 5 out of 5 because the hook is so fucking addicting. I love the sound of it. This track is so fucking good to listen to. Next track is Say Nothing. I'll be honest with you. I like the hook, but I don't like the verses on Say Nothing. So, I'm sorry. It's just going to be a 3 out of 5. Slow Jams featuring Lucky Day. Look, I really try to give this one a chance. You know, I try to enjoy it. Lucky Day sounds good, but, you know, I don't really like it that much. I just feel like the hook is kind of...
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Lacking. I wish Chris Brown sung better on this song too. I feel like his singing is kind of lacking. 3 out of 5. Perfect Timing. Again, Perfect Timing is struggling with the fact that Chris Brown's singing is just not really good in my opinion. So 3 out of 5 for that one. In My Head. Now this is where the album goes a little bit downhill, and we'll talk about this second half. I might as well just like talk about this whole entire half right here before, you know, we even go further. Now this little half right here, all right, In My Head, What's Love, Something in the Water, and Won't Let Me Leave. This is the down point of the album. And, you know, all I can say about these tracks is that they suffer the same thing. The same acoustic guitar instrumental that just fucking sounds monotonous, sounds fucking boring. Switch it the fuck up, in my opinion. And then, two, I will be real with you, I just wish these tracks actually had a little bit more life to them. They just sound kind of generic, kind of boring. So all of these tracks right here are just in the 2 out of 5 category. But then we kind of get back to good shit right here because Body Goals, hashtag Body Goals. I love Tank's verse on here. He sounds really fucking good. This hook is easily addicting too. I love those 808s, those drums. This track's an easy 5 out of 5. Colors too. Colors kind of surprised me. I thought I wasn't going to like this track, but I really love the hook. I really love the synths, the overall vibe of this song. An easy 4 out of 5. Skin to Skin. I love the hook to Skin to Skin. And that's what I can kind of say. The verses are not really my thing on here, but I like the hook. 3 out of 5. Theme Song. Theme Song is one of my favorite tracks off this album. I've just been replaying this track over and over and over again. The hook is addicting. The vocal switch-ups, the flow switch-ups on the different verses. This track is just fun. The energy is so fucking good. An easy 5 out of 5. Your Time, too. Your Time is that kind of sensual R&B track, which I do love from Chris Brown. Sounds really good. The singing and the vocals are just absolutely hitting. It's Personal. It's Personal kind of suffers the same fate as the down point of the album. Like, I feel like when we're just singing on the same acoustic guitar loop, it just gets a bit old in my opinion. But I do like the lyrics, and I do like the overall message of this song. You know, easy 3 out of 5. Holy Blindfold. Holy Blindfold is one of my favorite tracks off this album. Like, the beat is just so fucking fun. I love those drums. I really love this hook, too. This hook just gets stuck in my head. And then, one of the things that surprised me was the final track off this Holy Blindfold 2 is going to get a 5 out of 5. Present. I did not think I was gonna like Present because the sound was kind of building up to like a guitar, acoustic instrumental guitar sound. But no, it's kind of got this like early 80s, 90s R&B vibe. And I really do like the overall message of being in the present, but you're also, talking about somebody as they're like a present itself. It's a really cool song, really nice song.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With Plan B emergency contraception, we're in control of our future. It's backup birth control you take after unprotected sex that helps prevent pregnancy before it starts. It works by temporarily delaying ovulation, and it won't impact your future fertility. Plan B is available in all 50 U.S. states at all major retailers near you with no ID, prescription, or age requirement needed. Together, we've got this. Follow Plan B on Insta at Plan B One Step to learn more. Use as directed.
And a really cool song to finish off this album, an easy 5 out of 5. Overall, when we talk about Chris Brown's new album, Brown, this is probably one of my favorite new albums from him. Like everybody said this album was trash, like 27 tracks of mid. That just means you didn't listen to the album. There's not 27 tracks of mid on here. There is definitely a down point, but when you do over 20 tracks of an album, it doesn't matter if you're fucking Chris Brown or if you're fucking like, I don't know, if you're like Prince. If Prince did a over 20 fucking track album, some of those songs are just not gonna fucking hit. So it does suffer that same fate. I feel like one day Chris Brown should do like a 10 track album. I do agree with that. That would be really fucking cool. But this is a pretty good album. I like all the sounds, and it's really fucking good overall in my opinion. So overall, I will easily give this album a nice solid, and I haven't gave a high score to a Chris Brown album in a long time because even in my personal time of checking out all these albums, they always suffer the same fate. They're 40 tracks long, and I'm just kind of picking my favorites, and I'm putting my favorites in a separate playlist, and that's kind of how Chris Brown's new music is. But this is actually a really cool, concise album. I hope he continues this. I hope, we're kind of done with that 2020, era of music from Chris Brown. I hope this is the beginning of something really fucking good. So overall, I will easily give this album a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And get ready. Right after this, we are moving on to good old Drake. Guys, we're doing Iceman. Iceman is finally dropping Thursday night. That is definitely going to be a roller coaster. Might be a shitty roller coaster. Could be a fun roller coaster. We'll fucking see on Thursday night, so get ready for that. We cover Chris Brown all week. We're about to do Drake for the entire fucking week. That is either going to be fun or it's going to be absolute hell for me. But either way, I'll say you have a good one. Yeah, guys. Bye.